personal leadership. So I think you should be able to unmute yourself and just share your thoughts in 30 seconds. Cynthia Okoye.
Personal leadership can be seen as a way you coordinate yourself in order to organize a group of people.
Okay.
Or your own belief about how to be the head when you're among a certain group of people. The things you believe in before working with your fellow colleagues. To me, that's what I understand.
Good, fair enough. Can I have somebody else? Can I have Ramat Bajiru? Sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly. Ramat Bajiru. Can you unmute yourself and share your thoughts?
Good morning.
Okay. Yes, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, it is the ability to lead oneself for a greater good in your personal life, like your own values. How do you lead yourself? How a person leads herself, whether professionally and otherwise.
Okay, great. I think we are there already. I see a lot of information from the chat box. Collins, Princess, Coyote, Christopher, well done, thank you. I really love your ideas. You're not far away from what we're talking about. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's just get on with the subject matter. So what I want you to also bear in mind that you're going to do a lot of introspection, because knowledge isn't really about the what. We all know it. The internet is there, we all read books, the media is there, the TV is there, everything is there. So the what has been taken care of. Now, it's always important for us to know the why and the hows. So I can know, so for instance, if I've learned how to do CPR, that's good. That's how to resuscitate someone that is gasping for breath or something like that. If I know it, that's very good. But if I can use it when the time comes, that knowledge doesn't make sense. It's of no use to me. So when we say knowledge is power, I love it. But beyond knowledge is power, knowledge, the application of knowledge is where the game changes. So if you can use it when the time comes, it's no use. So like what we have all seen here, what I see here, personal leadership entails taking responsibility for self-growth and all those concepts, all we have said, it's correct. Now, what next is the issue? So we must be ready to do some introspection as we get on with this presentation. So let us get on with it. Okay. So my slides. So like I said, have that beginner's mind, because whatever we're going to discuss here today should be able to give us that behavioral shift, because leadership is about behavior governance wherever you are. So it's really not about the title or you are leading 100 people, 5,000 people. That's really not what leadership is about. It's not really about the quantity. It's about what it is that you're doing. So whatever it is we're going to learn today and whatever you're going to learn throughout this program is really about you having that level of clarity, the purpose, the vision of your next level, having to craft out what it is that's going to guide you all through the next actions you're not going to take in wherever you are, regardless of the position, because you're starting off your career at this point, but there are people you're leading, there are people you're going to be mentors to in future, and there are people also that, as you are here today, that are looking up to you for some form of guidance, some form of direction, all right? Because if you don't know where you're going, you can't get there. Every road will look like, the where you're going. And of course, the only way you can reach your full potential is some form of clarity, self-understanding, self-awareness, so that you can channel every part of who you are into where you're going. All right. So I'm going to have a first assignment. Remember what I said, it's really going to be practical. It's really not about the what leadership is. There are 7 types of leadership. That's Oh, yeah, those things are there. But for today, it's about introspection. It's about who we are and where we're going. Because you're starting off your career, having that sense of direction is so, so critical. Some people didn't have it, made one or two mistakes, and then are having to retrace their steps backwards. Now, it's not as if you're not going to make a mistake, you're going to, but at least you need to have some, what we call a compass, from which you're going to engage your life, engage everything you're going to do. If you don't have it, life will just act upon you. That's really what it is. So I'm going to share my screen. Each of us, can you grab a sheet of paper, grab a pen, because we're going to get into identify our profile, give an understanding, give a boundary, or create a compass of where we are as at today. So please grab a sheet of paper and a pencil. I'm going to share pencil or biro, anyone that you're comfortable with. I'm going to share my screen. Please get your paper before I share my screen with the next activity. Okay? Then there's something I like to do. Whenever I try to do something like this, I say to someone, sit upright, try and relax, because it's about you now. Try and relax, sit upright, relax, try and remove every form of worries or anxieties. What happened yesterday? What happened this morning? That you couldn't log in on time? Whatever it is, whatever the worries are, just, kind of find a way of pushing it aside. And now say to yourself, this is me. I'm here today for myself and nobody else. And then, of course, you should smile. Right? Because you need to be in that positive mood so that you can articulate who you are as much as you can. All right, so I'm going to share my screen share my screen for the first exercise. Are we still together, please? If we are together, can we just wave?
Yes,
okay.
we are, man.
Okay, great. Can we see my screen? Sorry, let me see.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Sorry, let me get it. Worksheet. Okay. All right, so the first assignment, just pay attention to only the first page, right? So that we don't get it mixed up. So if you can see my screen, it says my identity profile. Can you see it? The first one. So grab your sheet of paper, look through and articulate, just be as truthful as you can be. What is the vision? What is the vision you have for yourself? What's your mission? What are your core values? What barriers do you see that can hold you back? What do you think are your greatest achievement? And what do you think are your greatest regrets? Remember, it's personal to you. It's really not about me. It's not about Knowledge Exchange Center. It's not about your neighbor or what someone has said about you. This is about you. To thyself, be true. So we'll just have like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. Be willing to be very vulnerable. Be willing to look weak, because the essence is that you can move from point A to point B. If after this session or after the Knowledge Exchange Center, you're not able to articulate anything for yourself, it's really no use. So the best thing is to be as vulnerable as possible. If you get into it to see a doctor, you usually don't tell the doctor how well you're feeling. You tell the doctor how things are not well because you want it to get better. So that's the mindset I want you to have. Your vision is that desired future you have for yourself. Remember, it has to be smart. It has to be something that anyone can understand. It's measurable. I can see the value in it. So let me stop talking so I don't interrupt you. Interrupt your thoughts, actually. If you have any question, please ask so that we are sure that you understand what it is. To thyself be true. Be as truthful to yourself as possible, because you really can't lie to yourself. Lying to yourself shows that there's something wrong. Your mission is pretty much like your purpose. That thing that you've been called to achieve, or that thing only pretty much you're wired for. Some, the religious people may call it your purpose, that thing you were created for, whatever. But it's that gap that you feel that you're here to fulfill. Because each of us, we are called to greatness. We're called to serve. We're called to fulfill a purpose while we're here. So what is that thing? That's your mission. If you haven't articulated, if you don't have an understanding, you can have a sense of it. You really don't have to have it in clear terms, but just an understanding of what it is. Because a map, that's why we call it a compass. A map, having a map is better than having no map. Some people call it your true north, what guides you. Now your values, you can have so many, but try and restrict it to like 3 to 5. The things that you know that pretty much on a daily basis, you are guided by this. And your barriers are pretty much, what you think is a hindrance to your achieving your vision, your mission, your goals, that thing that stands in the way of your next level. So we have we have 3 more minutes. We have 2 more minutes. If we're done, can we just wave? You're done, can you wave? Let me see if we're done. We don't need to waste all the time. You have 1 more minute. Remember what I said, to thyself be true. Okay, right, so it's exactly 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Great. So who is bold enough to share their thoughts? Who's bold enough to share any? So it's really not, there are no right or wrong answers. So it's about what you've perceived your identity profile to be. Who can share their thoughts with us? I could call names. Can I have Damilare Babalola? Can you be bold enough to share with us? You can share, okay, let's leave you can share what you're comfortable with, actually. Let's hear you, please. We'll have 1 or 2 people share. I'm listening, Damilare. I can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Good morning, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm just trying to wrap my head around some of the questions, but I was able to understand very well the aspect of my vision and my mission and my core values. I think I've had that all along for a while.
Okay.
But the other question, sorry, what? I didn't get that, Mark.
Just get on with it. Just share with us. You don't have to be correct. No one has all the answers.
Okay. So how do I share it? Should I just say it?
Yeah, so just tell us your mission. That's what I mean by share. Verbally.
Okay. For my vision, I hope to be a human resource business partner for one of the blue chip companies in Nigeria. And also I hope to be a leadership coach who gets to train people on purpose discovery and personal leadership. Then for my mission, that I've not been able to really articulate that, but for my core values I have 5, which are discipline, excellence, leadership, holiness, and integrity.
Can you explain further what excellence means? If you,
I didn't hear you, Ma.
You say excellence is a core value. Can you kind of break it down a little so that you understand what excellence means to you?
Okay, excellence to me means that being above average in everything I do, at every given assignment or project I find myself doing, I tend to do some extra beyond what I've been asked to do to beat expectations. That's what excellence is to me.
Okay, great. That's good. Good. Thank you, Emily, for being bold and sharing your profile. Kayode Bamidele, can you share your identity profile?
Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
So I have the vision of my future self to be a CEO of a leading indigenous agricultural engineering company in Nigeria. And I have here that I also have a good family, and I want to be up there with the best in Nigeria and across the shores of Africa, career-wise, when it comes to, leading groups of people as regards coming up or bridging the gap between agriculture and technology in Nigeria. Also, my vision as a person is to connect people to opportunities. Serious-minded people to opportunities. I currently do that as well. People that are looking to, pursue their postgraduate studies abroad. I have a WhatsApp group whereby I just share opportunities with people like me, my colleagues, friends, and people that have shown interest in postgraduate scholarships. My core values as a person are modesty. I believe like we just need to live a simple life. The second one being hard work. Pursuing my goals with all my energy. And the third one is respect. Taking into cognizance the opinion, the belief, and the also of others as well. My barrier profile in here says access to relevant opportunities. I know to get to where I'm going, I will need maybe sound education, top or reputable schools abroad, right? I need some relevant work experience also maybe mentorship. I need to know people that have gone through the stages that okay, I foresee myself in the nearest future, so that they can just point me to the relevant things to avoid, pitfalls or pitfalls to avoid as I progress in my career. My greatest achievement, I think that would be graduating from school, from my primary to the university level with good grades. I always rank amongst the best in my class. Maybe top 3, top 5. And along the way, I was able to meet several other people that have also challenged me to be better. And also have had the opportunity of, winning scholarships, by the way, some internship opportunities also. And the fifth one, or the last one rather, my greatest regret. Okay, that would be not graduating with a first class actually, because I really didn't have that in mind. Like I started my GPA in the university was quite low. So I had no one to really tell me about, just to put things in perspective, my greatest regrets would be not graduating with the first class. Thank you.
Well done, well done. Thank you. I loved that. Well done. So Taiwo,
thank you, ma.
Thank you so much. I love the idea that you were able to put a lot of things into perspective, and the fact that, most importantly, that if what you've said is true, you've actually started taking steps towards it. Because the idea of having this umbrella view is that every step you're taking, you're deliberate, you're very intentional about driving it. So if I'm saying, that's why I had to ask the other guy, what is excellence to you? So when he said average at first, I was like, okay, that's not excellence. But when he started explaining further to say he's going to do more. So it means that if he has that mindset, if he keeps getting towards it, chances are that at every point in time, he would always be the best or do the best within his circumstance. That may be his excellence. He may not meet the world excellence, but to the best of his ability at that point, he may be able to get to it. So Taiwo Oluwafemi, please share your thoughts. Where are you? Okay. So you have to put your video. We're not going to do camera picture, sorry. If you have to share, you have to put your. Yes, good. So let's hear you.
My own views. I'll start sharing from core values. I just have 4 core values. The first is integrity. And can you hear me clearly, Ma?
It's stop. You have a background noise. Do you want to check what is at the background so that it doesn't disrupt what you're saying? Let's hear you.
Okay.
Okay. No, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Do you want to sort out the audio? Okay, let's try. Try and sort out the audio and then call up. So let me call Chiamaka Eke. Can you share your thoughts on your profile? Chiamaka Eke. Chiamaka, are you here? Do you put award points in this program? Because what we usually do, we award points to people who are quite participating. Okay, I want a female. Okay, Amanda Richards.
Good morning, ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, my vision is actually to be a blessing to everyone around me. I don't know how I will do that yet, but that's what my vision is. And then my mission, I've not really figured that out, but I know it's related to people. My core value as a person is family, love, and peace. I just love the security that family brings. And then for love, I just want to give out all the love within me and then receive as much as I give out. Then peace, I love my peace of mind. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how do we measure family? So if you say it's a core value, okay, core values for you is that, sorry, can you explain? Let me be sure I understand you.
I love the security that family brings. And so that's why it's a core value to me. I don't know how to explain it more than that. I just know that it's a core value to me.
Okay. Okay.
And my barrier profiling should be probably my doubts and my unbelief, because I know that I doubt myself a lot. There are things in my head that I know that I want to achieve, but I just have doubts and then I don't believe. So I know that.
You mean self-doubt?
Yes, ma'am. And then unbelief. And then my greatest achievement should be my ability to control my anger. There was a time I get really angry and then I lash out. But I've been able to control it and then be able to bring it down. Thank you.
You were able to do that?
I just, usually when I get very, very angry, I just tend to leave the place and probably just go to a place and then just calm myself down.
Okay.
Thank
you. Okay. So while you haven't articulated it, what it means is that for you to move to your next level, you need to have a sense of it. As big as it is, you would probably have to fine-tune it. So it's really not about a piece of paper, one written statement, but sometimes it helps for you to have an understanding. So like we say, we saw the compass I shared. So this leads to this place, this direction. It helps you because it helps you in decision making. So that at every point in time when you're making any decision for yourself, you'll be asking yourself, is this aligned with my vision? Is it aligned with my mission? Are my core values respected, or are my core values seen in this decision I'm making? So for instance, if you've said family, now there's some things you may be doing today or a decision you may take today, you'll be asking yourself, does this give me the security I desire in the family? Because that's the essence of this compass. It gives you a direction of everything you're going to, even your thoughts, your actions, the way you act, the decisions you're going to make, the kind of work you're going to do, the kind of friends you're going to make, because those things are things that if not well taken care of or if not attended to, you may be away from your compass and it may still look right. But if you have an understanding of where you're going, that compass, it directs. So at any point, if something is against those compass, it kind of puts you on notice to say, either make an amendment, make a shift, or look for, make interventions that would kind of direct you back to, just imagine when you're driving on the road and, if you had a map and says move left, or you have to ask somebody and they say, oh, this is the way, you now have to make a U-turn. So we're trying as much as possible to, avoid that U-turn, because sometimes the times we need to make those U-turns, a lot would have passed. Some decisions that are irreversible would have been made. But having that early clarity helps you make better decisions. I don't think what I've said makes sense to you. Okay, someone says she loves to share. Ramat, this is the last person to share. Ramat Badiru. Okay.
Good morning.
Morning.
The first one, vision of my future self. I see myself as a spiritually led individual, a stable home, be financially stable, and also become a professional calligrapher. Then my mission, I would like to be a philanthropist, because I've actually seen myself creating housing, especially for those that are really not privileged. My core values, I really like the human relationship. I like to strengthen human relationships, and I'm very open-minded and reliable. Then my barriers, anxiety, uh, financial stability right now, and also I overthink a lot. Yes. So it makes me actually doubt that can I actually do this. So I keep asking myself every time, can I actually do this? Can I actually do this? Though I take steps, and I actually, constant improvement is actually my thing. Even though I see that I'm failing, I will go back to it again. I always go back to whatever I should have. I'm short of. Yes. My greatest achievement is being I was once an ambassador for a woman group, Women Eliminating Barriers.
Well done.
Yeah, so I was one of the best. I got a certificate for that. So that was one of my biggest achievements right now.
So when you speak of what was that thing about the activity that really resonated with you? What is it? Yeah.
Okay. That was when I learned something about myself, that I really could bring people together. Even though I'm very reserved, but I saw that I could bring up some things. I could bring up activities that was engaging. I mean, it was a 400 member group, and we're not really seeing participation, but I was able to, me and some of my other teammates were able to at least bring up different kind of activities that was going to encourage participation, and we eventually got to open another group, making about 800 even before I stopped being an ambassador. And I still hope to actually go there again, because it actually brings out my leadership skills. I thought I was able to do stuff like that. And one of my barriers is opportunities, because about this my calligrapher thing, I saw that here I have not really gotten that. I've not seen that opportunity here. I've been taking courses, but they are not from here. They are from someone from UK or something. So opportunities is really one thing for me when it comes to calligraphy, because I'm really interested in it. Like, I have passion for it.
Okay,
And I think
okay.
it's actually scary that I don't know if it's actually going to be profitable for me, but I just want to do it, whether or not it's actually going to be profitable for me.
The reality is that sometimes our mission is not financially rewarding because your mission is beyond you. It's kind of going for that thing that is higher than who you, more than who you are. It's like your own contribution to the world. So that's why no, like I don't ask somebody what do you want to be when you grow up. No, I ask you what are the things, because we're a combination of so many things. So most of us, most people have the thing that gives them the financial, the financial reward. They also some also maybe engage in things that may not give them that financial reward, but goes to a greater good, gives them that sense of responsibility, sense of worth, sense of I am contributing to my generation or to the world in ways that that's why you see people do volunteer work. People go to the missionaries, for instance. Some people are fortunate enough to have their mission and their work that gives them financial reward, integrated. That's so good, But beyond the finances, there are noble things. There are ideas. There are things that we all engage in that may not be so financially rewarding, but it's of value to the next person, because your mission is not about you. It's about the other person. It's about
I think I can relate that with the philanthropy thing well. Yes. Because I've actually been in cases where I attend stuff to share things for people under the bridge and all of that. So I think it's actually very good that you can do something for someone and not expect anything in return. And I think that's one thing that can really, really resonates with me, and it's something that I'm really going to feed on. Yeah.
While you're not saying you're not going to work for money, you're going to work for money, but each of us, because at some point we all realize that research has shown us that at a certain level, you would ask yourself, is this all there is to life? Is this about naira and couple? Is this about the money? So sometimes we begin to seek higher order things that would give us that sense of worth. So having that understanding, early clarity, can also be good. So Chiamaka says she's ready. I think we need to move on. Don't worry, I'll give you an opportunity for something else. So let's get on with the presentation. Well done, everybody. I love it. I like the fact that we have a sense of it. Some of us didn't. Some of us were just moving on with life as it was coming, And of course, we had a sense of it, but we didn't think we needed to pursue it in a more deliberate fashion, which is actually what we're trying to achieve today. So if we have those early understandings of where we're going, what it is, from early stage, from today, we can begin to take very tiny steps towards it, because it's a journey. You're never going to get to a place and say, oh, finally I've arrived. No, it's a daily journey in your personal, in your professional life. It's a daily journey towards that person that you desire to be. Okay, was this session helpful for us to kind of have an understanding of where we're going? Was it? If it was, can you just wave, or okay? It's important that if there's anything we need to ask, please indicate so that we don't miss out anything. So I'm going to share my screen back to the presentation. Okay, so like we've all said, personal leadership is pretty much about all that we have articulated now. Everything that we've talked about, the vision, our mission, our core values, where we think we're going, what we want to do, the kind of activities we want to engage in. All these things are summed up in helping us have that direction of where we're going, because that's really what it is. It's about inside out leadership. So you're using all of who you are. your values, your mission, your vision, trying to chart a direction of your own life. And of course, in charting your own life, you're bringing usable value to your space. So it's really not about, so while you direct yourself, the benefit or the people who take advantage or people who the value is for is really not you, it's about the next person. So our talents, our gifts, our abilities, our knowledge, it's not for us. We must have that at the back of our minds. It's for the next person. It's for the space that we occupy. It's for the organization that we're going to lead tomorrow. It's for the group of people that we're going to, lead to the next level. It's about the people we're going to mentor. It's about the people we're going to coach tomorrow. So personal leadership is really about you inside, who you are, because you can't give what you don't have. It's about everything about you, your vision, your mission, and how all of it is able to direct you to where you're going. That's pretty much what it is. And of course, in that instance, you're not waiting for life to act upon you. You're rather acting upon life. You're being very deliberate. You're being very intentional about every decision that you're taking. So that if you have those understandings, you would know there are no-go areas. I can't be found in this, not because I cannot do it, or not because I cannot engage in it, but because it's at variance with my core values, or is at variance with my mission, or is at variance with my vision. Now, having that understanding, for instance, we've all articulated our barriers. Having that understanding, the next step would be, how can I mitigate those barriers? Because you must win before you win outside. When I work with people, I tell them, when we're doing any project, I say we must articulate, we must have everything we're going to do on paper. We must put the plan. I tell them, if we don't win on paper, we can win outside. We'll be hoping on providence. While I'm quite religious, spiritual, we hope on God, we believe, but God has given us that ability to think, to be rational, to brainstorm. So why would I throw it away, hoping that it will get better? Yes, I'm very optimistic, but at the same time, I need to plan. I need to put my thoughts on paper. That's pretty much what it is. So what is that thing? Having that direction, knowing who you are, having a sense of it, even if you don't have a full sense of it, just as an idea, some level of clarity. And of course, with each day, it gets better as you go on. And I always say to people, I was having this conversation with someone one day, and the person said, "But what was all these thing about self-leadership? What was all that?" And I said to the person that if we have this understanding that the gifts that we have, what we can do, our abilities, our talents are not for us. So for the Christians, the Holy Book will tell you that all that has been given to you is for others. So it's really not for you. So that is what it is really about. So why is personal leadership important? It is so important because you have been called to serve. There is an assignment for you as small as you think you are. Each of us, that's why leadership is not about the CEO of the big name. No, it's about what value are you giving to your world? What value are you bringing to the space that you occupy? What is the experience you're giving to people when they meet you? When people leave you, what do they think about their time with you? Do you give them something positive that begins to create value or or develop something within them? That's why it's so important. And like I said, someone says the person that is healthy that can donate blood. So imagine you're called to donate blood. You know what do? They will screen you. They will check your is it PC level or something, whatever they call it. They check if your blood is compatible. That's because you can't give what you don't have. It has to be of value to the next person. So even if you have the right blood group or blood type or genotype and the rest of it. But if they find something wrong with maybe there's some virus or something or whatever, I don't want to get into all those details, you will not be able to donate that blood. So that's pretty much that's how much important it is, because each of us, we are called to serve, regardless of the level you are in, be it in your family, in the church, in the mosque, at work, in the greater society, as a politician. Forget what we see around us here, but if we understand what personal leadership actually means, it means wherever I am, I must leave my legacy. I must make my mark in a positive way, such that by the time I leave, something begins to happen in that place. So having that understanding about why it is important, particularly, I tell people, if you don't win from your family or within your friends, and then you're going to be winning outside, it means there's something wrong. So when they say someone is transformed or has repented, my view is always go back to that same place, that those people who knew you for the wrong reasons, those are the people you must preach to. Those are the people you must try to convert first. You can't go somewhere else where they don't know you. You have to go back to, because charity begins at home. If you can't go back to those people, or you are Mr. A outside and you are Mr. C or Mrs. C out inside, there's a misalignment. There's something that doesn't add up. So we must be who we are, because if we're going to come to work is a place where you bring all of who you are, your personality, your temperament, your values, everything that you are. Because when at work would challenge everything that you know. Work would challenge your values. It would challenge everything you have always believed in. Because particularly sometimes you may be called to make a decision between what is right and how you feel, or how your manager will take it, or what the company thinks. So at that point, what do you do? What would be your criteria for making your decision? So if you have if you don't have a sense of that compass, anything would go. It will be fine. And sometimes, of course, we may be the victim if care is not taken. Because I always tell people that if you see people that you're in a group, some people are smarter than the others. Some people know how to wingle their way through. So if you're in a group of people and let's say we're all stealing, I must check how good each person is, for me to know, okay, should I be in this group? Because if something goes wrong, what happens? Would I be the one that, that would be the victim, or the person that will be caught in the act? So those are, even though this is a negative example, but those are the understandings that we need to make and have it at the back of our mind, that whatever it is that we are, it is that important, because we would be called, a demand will be made on us on those values, on those missions, or where you're going, the things that you truly believe in. As you start your career, as you start your work, even in the things you have built for yourself, a time will come for you to make that decision. And the question is, what would you use? What would the criteria be that you're going to use to engage in that action? So this is going to be our next activity. So let's imagine, like if you're building a house, it's the foundation. Before you build the house, you do all the work, put up the beams, the foundation, because it's this foundation that's going to carry the house. So if you imagine personal leadership, or who you are, and imagine yourself as a skyscraper. So you don't have the massive building, So imagine yourself to be that building that people would come to watch and say, so if they come to Nigeria or wherever you're going to settle, someone will say, let's go to that building. So imagine you are that person. What would be the pillars of that personal leadership? When I say pillars, I also mean elements. What are those elements of personal leadership that from which every other thing would be built on? I don't know if I explained myself. So we're going to get into groups. I'm going to share a template we're going to use. And at the end of the day, each person, so for each group, you're going to brainstorm and try to articulate what those pillars are. And then one person, you elect one person who's going to share what the group had decided as what the pillars of, what you guys believe as the pillars of personal leadership. Is that clear to everyone? I hope I'm understood. Is it clear enough? Can we share them into groups now?
Okay, I'll do that in 1 to 3 minutes.
So while he's getting that ready, so I'm going to share my screen regarding. It's just a plain, because I want us to. It's important that let's think it through. Let's introspect. Let's brainstorm and ask ourselves, what will be those pillars? What are those things that must exist? What are those?
It's ready when you are.
I'm sorry.
It's ready when you are.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty much what it is. So let me share my screen before you send them out so that they can see what it is. So we're going to use this template to use this template to okay. So here, can you all see my screen? So if you name a pillar, whatever it is, there are no right or wrong answers. We're going to try to fine-tune it. So the pillar, if you pick a pillar, ask yourself, what's the essence? Where would the value be? Ask why. Why should this be a pillar? What's the essence of this? Where would the benefit be felt? In what area? For instance, if I say I need to come to work early, let's give an example, and ask what is the essence? The essence is for me to start my day on time and attend to customers, the early bird customers, and of course meet my KPI, whatever. That's what I mean by that essence. So we're going to have this for 15 minutes, time to brainstorm, and then we're going to come back to share our thoughts. Elect one person who's going to discuss what the group has done. Okay, maybe 15, 20 minutes. 20 minutes actually. So you can put them into groups now. So I can stop sharing my screen. It's just the elements and the essence, and that's it. I hope I'll be able to go into the groups.
Yes, you can. I just assigned you to one.
I want to be able to move to the different groups. How does that
You
work?
should see the option there to be able to move. You have the option there where once you go to the breakout session, it will give you the option to join anyone.
I think I was to one group, red, and it's not allowing me to move to any other room.
Just leave the group. Don't leave the meeting. Leave the group, the room.
Yeah.
You've done that?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I've gone to the red group and I'm back here.
Okay, go back to the breakout rooms. Go to more, then you'll see the option of breakout rooms. It should give you the option of the different rooms and you can join in. Is it giving you that there?
No.
Okay.
When I get to breakout, it just tells me join group red.
Okay. I just made you a host.
Yeah.
Okay. He's doing that now, right?
Yeah, I've seen it. So I can join any group now. Let me join.
But the problem with that, I won't be able to left. Hello, Chiamaka Ike, Abib Isa. You should have an option to join your different groups there. You should have an option to join your different groups on your screen.
There is no option here.
Olaide, Emeka, you guys were at the first session where you joined the groups, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we were.
So you should be able to join back to your different groups. Check your phone. There's an option for you.
There's no option, yes, sir. There's no option here.
There's no option here.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I think you guys that are left here should just have the discussion here because she has she is now the host, so I can't assign anymore. So you guys can just do the activity here. I think we have Ejiro here, we have Abib Isa here, we have Olaide Obajimi, we have Samuel Ogunshola here, and Emeka. So you guys can just do the instruction given to you. Are you back, ma? Hello? Your mic is on mute.
I said I'm moving to the different rooms, each one.
Okay. Because I want to remove you as host now because there are some people left to be assigned. I think their network went off and back. So. I can hardly hear you. Your mic is on mute.
Yeah. Are you going to see something?
Yes, I said I wanted to remove you as the host now, so you won't be able to move around. I need to assign the other people that are left here.
Okay, that's fine.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, madam. You can just give me back the host right. Just give knowledge exchange back the host right. So I can give you back the host right now for you to be able to move around.
Okay, that's fine. There's one person, Samuel, is not assigned.
I think it's the network logging in and out. Yeah. think everyone is back.
You're muted, Ma.
Sorry about that. Okay, so we have red. We have red, blue, yellow, purple, orange, yellow. Okay, I've mentioned yellow. Is there any other
Green.
color?
Green.
Green. Did we have 7 groups? It's only 7.
6.
Okay, 6. Okay, so can group red share their thoughts on the pillars? You have 5 minutes.
Okay, good morning, ma. I'm Collins by name, Collins Richard. Hello, can you hear me, ma?
Yes, we can.
Okay, ma. The first pillar is people-centric or selflessness. Selflessness is an act of thinking less of yourself than more of people. You know, as a leader, you are meant to be, people-centered and not self-centered. To drive, and is also a way to, help achieve a specific goal. And number 2 pillar is influence, the ability to make people, to persuade people to subscribe to your ideology. So very important in leadership, very important in personal leadership. Pillar number 3, motivation, the ability to encourage people, to make people see better of themselves, to improve high self-esteem. That's the reason. And number 4, passionate for growth, the ability to see people grow and improve themselves. You know a leader not just by himself, you know a leader not just by his network, you know a leader by the people, his followers. How much are they growing? How much are they improving? How much have you improved in yourself before you can also help people to improve and be better? It's a strong feeling of enthusiasm that drives you to make things work out for people. And the 5th one is actually empathy, the ability to make people, the ability to, understand people's feelings, understand people's plight and opinion, to help them, even be it in their, be it okay, when they are going through challenges or something. It's also related to compassion too. So I think these are the 5 pillars, ma. We have, ma.
Thank you. Next group, blue.
All right, ma. Good morning, ma. Hello, can you hear me, ma?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm Oluwaseyi.
Go ahead.
I'm Oluwaseyi Solomon. Okay. We actually picked out about 5 pillars of personal leadership, and the first one is self-discipline. Discipline is very, very key. It's very, very key, especially in our daily endeavors. When you are disciplined, this is the ability to be able to go in your direction, even when there are things that will sway you away from what you have actually proposed on your direction, the direction you are taking. There are so many things that want to sway you away from it, but if you are disciplined, you'll be able to follow that path, and you'll be able to achieve your purpose. And the second one is integrity. Integrity is the value of a man. If a man lost his integrity, definitely he has lost his value. And actually, what we need to, how we can impact our environment is by our values. So if your integrity is lost, people will not be able to trust you, so that you can put your impact on them. And the third one we actually picked is accountability. You must be able to be responsible for your actions. Whatever you do, probably you made a mistake, and somewhat you made a wrong decision, and it ended in a way that is not good. You must be able to be accountable for it. You must be responsible for your actions. You must be able to be accountable for your deeds. And the fourth one we picked was teachability. In order to be able to lead personally, like in order to build your pillar of personal leadership, you must be teachable, you must be flexible, whereby you are open to new things. there could be something you actually have a knowledge about, but probably there's an introduction of a knowledge from another person, but the ability to be teachable will help you to adapt that knowledge from the other person and be able to put it into good use. And the fifth one we picked was perseverance or resilience. This is actually very important as well. We can also say tenacity also. This is the ability to endure. We all know in life there will be challenges, there will be difficult times, but the ability to persevere, to be resilient, to be able to endure tough times, it will really be very, very important. And like the adage says, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So these are our contributions, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Blue. Yellow, please. Yellow, group yellow. Who's representing group yellow? Group purple. We're running behind her. Group purple.
Okay, good morning, ma.
Good morning. Which
Yes,
group are you?
Group purple, ma. Yeah, the 5 pillars we chose. The first one is good communication. It is very important to have excellent communication skills because it goes a long way in ensuring proper understanding amongst the team members. So it ensures that it eradicates all levels of misunderstanding because having a good communication skills helps the team members to know what to do, when to do it, and how it is to be done. When the leader dishes out the right information, either verbal or non-verbal, in an appropriate manner, it helps to ensure that there is unity among the group. Now, the second one we chose is responsibility. A leader is meant to preach what he or she says, like he's meant to act in accordance to his words. So when you're responsible for your actions, it helps the team to progress. The next one we also chose is integrity, being honest with whatever it is you want to do. When you are honest, you stand for what you are. You preach the truth. You don't waver, you don't deviate from what is meant to be the standard. So that's it. And the next one is we chose is problem solving. A good leader should have problem solving skills. You should be able to be flexible to solve problems, not just to postpone things and just act as if a particular problem is not in existence. So he has to devise means by which a solution is to be provided. And the next one, the fifth one we chose is emotional intelligence, the ability to monitor one's own and other people's emotions, to be able to label these emotions appropriately, to be able to ensure that people are not misjudging one another. So that is that for you.
Okay, well done. Thank you. Orange.
Good morning, ma.
You don't have your video.
Oh, sorry, ma.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma. My name is Nafisat Akinpelu. Our first element is learning. And the essence is to keep teaching people what we've learned and contribute our own quota to the community and Nigeria at large. Then second one is to inspire others. This will serve as a symbol of hope for those who wish to achieve something great in life, and also serve as a proof that it can be achieved through hard work and perseverance. Then the third one is excellent, to prove to others that success is achievable. Then the fourth one is sharing. In order to foster a culture of learning, leadership, in order to foster a culture for learning, leadership needs to encourage conversation and develop an infrastructure for sharing information and ideas. Then the fifth one is accountability. At its core, leadership is about taking ownership or responsibility, not only for your own behavior, but for the situation and the action or inaction of those for whom we are responsible to. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, good, well done. Green. Group Green. Group Green and Group Yellow haven't, are those?
And I'm representing Group Green. Hello, Ma. Good morning, Ma.
Okay, yeah, continue.
Okay, yes. I am Efet Adebanjo, and I'm representing Group Green. Okay, we talked about the first one, transparency. When you do nothing in the dark, others, it makes you trustworthy. People see everything you do in light. It removes every kind of doubt on your way, and that is a very good element, a very good pillar. Secondly, we're looking at clarity of purpose. Now, without purpose, without essence, there is no need for existence. So until you have clarity of purpose, then you cannot be a good leader.
Okay.
It is essential because Then the third one we're looking at is diligence. Diligence. It is paramount that you have the ability to work hard to achieve and work smart to achieve and attain your city. Important. It makes you accessible when you're humble, and thus it expands your circle of influence because people are endeared to you. No one loves a proud man. And lastly, the fifth one, integrity. Now, when you have integrity, it helps people to vouch for you. They can speak on your behalf even when you are not there. Thank you so much, Ma.
Okay, well done. Okay, thank you. Yellow, are you still available to share your thoughts?
All right, Ma.
You guys should have been penalized -5 marks. You're
Yeah,
not
sorry.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I would like to start with purpose too. It cannot be overemphasized as a pillar for leadership. Miles Monroe said that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So every leader must have a sense of purpose. It drives every other thing that wants to achieve. Without a sense of purpose, your followers are even confused as to what to do. So the purpose is essential, and we take that as number one from our group. Then secondly, a leader must have integrity. The word integrity is gotten from the word integer, that is completeness. There is no fraction there. So it means your words, your thoughts, and your actions must synchronize. As a leader, you should not say a thing and do otherwise. It sends a very, very terrible signal to those who you are leading. So integrity is important. Your thoughts, your words, and actions as a leader must align. Then thirdly, understanding the people you are leading. When you understand them, you are able to, can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can.
All right. When you understand your followers, you're able to know their strengths and weaknesses, and it helps you to delegate responsibilities effectively. It eliminates the tendencies of having square pegs in round holes. So understanding the people you lead is very, very important, and it gives them a sense of belonging when they know their leader actually knows them in total. A candidate running for presidency in America some years back had the ability of carrying his people along. He remembers everybody's name, their first name and their surname. He addresses them by that. And with that single attribute, he was able to win the hearts of the voters. So it's essential as a leader to understand your people. Then fourth pillar should be humility. I will define humility as the right estimate of oneself. When you don't think too highly of yourself and you don't think too lowly of yourself, you just have about the right estimate. And I think this is difficult for many of us. It takes years of self-introspection to be able to actually have a right estimate of ourselves. So we know our limits. Its history is replete with examples of leaders who have at some point achieved a level of feat or exploit, and they feel they are invincible. So because they lacked the right estimate of their abilities, they misjudged, and they took some actions that had terrible repercussions, and it affected their reputation, their legacy as a leader. So it is very important for a leader to have a right estimate of himself. So the leader knows his limits and his strengths as a person. Then lastly, large-heartedness. A leader must be large-hearted. He must be able to overlook mistakes of his followers. He must be able to know what specific action to take at a particular time. And he must be able to accommodate people, able to persevere and suffer long until people change, because he understands that change does not happen overnight. It takes time. So he endures and bears with his followers to change or to achieve that expected objective from them, because he's aware that personally it took him time to get to where he is. So he's able to persevere and endure until everybody grows equally with him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. You guys, within a short time, you guys were able to produce something good. Okay, have we all heard about the story about the blind man and the elephant? Who has heard any story about it? The blind men that were told to describe the elephant. Has anyone heard? If you've heard, just wave. Okay, great. So the story goes that that some blind men were asked to touch the elephant and give a good description of what they thought the elephant, describe the elephant. Some, those that touched the tusk were like, oh, the elephant is such a hard animal. Some people touched the tail, some people touched the skin, each of them having different descriptions. Someone said, oh, the skin is very smooth. Someone said, oh, the elephant is a fat animal. Those that touched the tail were like, the elephant appears to be somewhat slim, But the truth of the matter is they were all correct, because those were each parts of the elephant, even though the story was not complete, But that was their own perspective based on their own engagement with the elephant. So those that touched the tusk, the skin, the trunk, the tail, the leg, all had different versions of what the elephant looked like. That's exactly what we have all done. Each of us talking about what elements of the pillars of personal leadership. We're not wrong, but that's our own perspective. But we want to look at a more holistic view so that we can have a full view of what the elephant, not the elephant this time around, what the personal leadership actually means. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's get back to the other. Well done, everybody. I'm quite, now, this is one part of it. Naming it is like 20% of what personal leadership is. The 80% is now the application. I hope we'll have that understanding, that we've been able to name it, give a good description of it, is like 20% of what it is. The 80% is our ability to translate this in our daily lives, in the decisions we make, in what we think, in how we act, in what we do when we are called upon to make that decision, particularly when that decision is a hard one. So when we have to make daily decisions, we're going. Now, the day you're going to choose between what is right and how you feel, that's when your personal leadership comes into play. The day you're called upon to choose between that right decision, or what you should say or what you should do, and the benefit you're going to get if you don't take that decision, that is when your personal leadership actually comes to play. Okay. Sorry, you have to allow me to share my screen. Make me a co-host. You have to make me a co-host so that I can share my screen.
Okay, I'm working on that.
Sorry about that.
Done.
All right. Okay, good. So we're getting back to our conversation. So all we have said is absolutely correct. Now, this is how I usually describe my pillars. So I start with my belief system. So we've mentioned, some people mentioned purpose, mentioned vision, mentioned, trying to look at all the different things. Now, your belief system is everything that you hold as true. That is your intent, what you think, your convictions. Are you a person who is optimistic? Do you believe life is fair? Some people tell you life is unfair. Some people, it's your values, your purpose, your vision, the things that are true. All of these are summed up into your belief system. And why is it so important? And what's the benefit or what's the essence? This is actually what drives your behavior. This is what drives how you think, how you act. So imagine you're working with a boss who is quite superstitious. Maybe the day it rains, it stops, it rains again, it stops. He believes that this is a negative sign. Now, if you're going to work with that boss, what it means is that if he holds that view, it's probably going to affect every other decision he's going to make. The same with you. If you've grown up as a child, you were told, oh, you never amount to anything. Oh, you never succeed. It was my neighbor that made that said that thing that day. And since then, my life has not been the same. It means that everything you're going to be doing is going to be based on that understanding that you have. So what this means for you today is you need to go back to your belief system. So remember when we were talking, someone said, what are her barriers? And she said self-doubt. You need to understand what is informing that self-doubt. What is informing those barriers that you have identified? Because those are things that unconsciously affect everything that you do. So your belief system, what you hold as true, be it religious, so be it if you're not religious or spiritual or what you have been told or what you think as true or your core values, whatever those things are, these are things that would pretty much either work for you or work against you. So today that you have come to this program, you're going to ask yourself, what are those belief systems that I hold as true for myself? And ask yourself, are they limiting you or are they enhancing you? So if they're limiting you, then you need to challenge it. You need to have something else that would have to, eliminate the effect of that on you. Because some people, no matter their level of qualification, you will still see that self-doubt within them. And if you probe further, you may see where that, pretty much where this thing exists from. So like even in coaching, the first thing is they try to understand what you hold as true for yourself. Because those are the things that either act for or against you. I hope that is clear. So our belief system is so fundamental to our moving to the next level. And it happens even to the best of people. So whatever it is you hold as true, you need to ask yourself, is it enhancing me? Is it empowering me? Or is it limiting my next level? And these are, most of the time, they are so unconscious. It may be one thing someone said one time, one thing you read up, one thing they said, and whatever it is, the source is as wide as you can imagine. Then the next one is your self-awareness and authenticity. Now the question is, what do you know about yourself? Your strengths, your weaknesses, what is it about yourself that you know for sure, come rain, come sunshine. This is me. Now, the next question I would like to ask, what is your why for service? Why do you think you exist? Because this self-awareness and understanding gives you like a ticket to everything you're going to do. So if, say I use myself as an example. I'm quite performance driven. I am really performance driven, not even quite. Now, it took some feedback I got for someone to let me know that, listen, everybody is not going to be as performance driven as you are. And because I used to, I've always believed in, I must apply myself, I must give it my best shot, no matter what happens, even if I get a no, I'm going to try again. So all that is what drives me in everything that I do. Now, beyond that positive side, there was the negative side, which is some people are not as strong as you are. Some people are not as driven or self-driven as you are. Now, it took that self-understanding. So what it did for me was, if I'm interviewing for a position and they're going to work with me, the first thing I'm trying to assess, to understand from you is, can this person withstand pressure? Can this person fly when others are walking? Because I know that this is the only person I can work with. I want the person, because when I'm saying, let's jump, the person should be saying how high. So the people I've worked with that weren't quite self-driven, it was always an issue. There was always an issue. So it took me to understand myself, to know, okay, I know I can't function in certain industries. I can't function in certain areas. I'll give you an example. So when I graduated from school, I read law as a first degree. So I got into, pretty much as like every lawyer, I started practicing. I was going to courts. I was a litigation person. And I would go to courts. Our court system was so slow. For one case, there are adjournments, there are days you file paper. It was a little too slow for me. The environments weren't quite interesting for me. It wasn't, there was more to life I wanted beyond the litigation. Now, in retrospect, what I know now, there are different pathways within the legal profession. We didn't quite know it as at that time. All we knew then was, once you graduate from law school, you get into a chamber and you start going to court. Some people went into, joined the firm, became the legal counsel, or things around, pretty much in an organization, and things around that. Some of us, it wasn't the usual practice. Now, it took a lot of self, reflection and assessment. I did a lot of personality tests to understand myself. That was when I began to know that within even my industry, this is where I think my skills, my talent, my preferences, the way I like to engage with my world, this is where it will thrive. Because those understandings are so critical. I tell people, particularly those that are starting their careers, whatever discipline you've qualified in, there are different pathways, value creation pathways. So you must understand which of the pathways best suits everything that you are. Not just your skills, not just what you can do. It's also your temperament, the kind of things you like to engage in, the kind of person you are. So if you're in an industry that requires you to be such extroverted, you must be up and about. And you are such an introverted person, you like to be by yourself. It means you have to do something different if you're going to function in that industry. Because if there's a lot of socializing, if there's a lot of networking, and you pretty much hate those things, it means you're not going to be optimal in your performance. Because those things that are peculiar in that pathway or in that career, you don't like them. So if you must work in those industries, if you must thrive in those industries, it means you need to step out of who you are. And at that point, you need to ask yourself, would I be operating, or would I be playing to my strength, or would I be just surviving? I don't know if I'm making sense to you. So these are, that self-understand, because you must understand who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses. What are those areas that you pretty much will thrive so well in? Now, if I know a friend who qualified as a medical doctor. She can't stand people that are unhealthy, but she trained as a medical doctor. Now, it took her to understand there are different pathways to this her career. And then what did she do? She went into public health. She went into so it took her away from the pretty much the day-to-day medicine that we know. So she goes around, gives lectures, does a lot of research, and that's where she has, pitched her tent. So that's self-understanding, self-awareness, your authenticity, your weakness, asking yourself, in what area would I contribute the most? In what area are my skills, the things about me most suited for? Those understandings are so critical. Now, everything we have mentioned, the integrity, good communication, all those things are subsumed into those places. If, for instance, you are not a good communicator and you tell me you want to get into journalism, that's okay. But you also know that you probably will not be the frontline person. Then, or if you have to be, that means you need to go into a lot of training to function optimally in those areas. Now, some people, it comes to them naturally. It's a no-brainer for them. It's natural. It's a natural for them. So for those people, so if you're going to be competing with that kind of person, because the world out there is all competition. If you're going to be competing with that person, you're going to be bringing so much more, putting in so much more. Meanwhile, that other person is just a natural for the person. So you need to understand, where are my skills most suited for? Where am I most, where will I thrive most in? And that goes into the knowledge, skills, and attitude. Now, the knowledge, I usually take it as your technical skills, maybe where you've trained and all that. Your skills are I pretty much take it as your soft skills. So your communication skills, your emotional intelligence, we've mentioned, your creativity, those are the areas. So you always ask where I am going, my vision, my mission, and all that. Do I have the KSA that can thrive in those areas? Because if not, you will need to step back and say, what do I need to do today that would get me there? Because that's what it is. It's about you, really. Because it's about the best of who you are that's coming out to the world to create value and bring usable value to the space that you occupy. And then your attitude. Attitudes, like we all know, is everything. And you're a person who will pretty much apply himself, be the best, try to do more, try to, go the extra mile. Those things are, part of it. And then your executive presence. I love this when I talk about executive presence. Now, executive presence is not about the physical appearance. That's not what it is. It is about how mentally alert you can be wherever you are. So this thing I always say to people, wherever you are, you must be present. If not, don't be there. So if I'm going for a party, for instance, I won't be in a party and I'm thinking of something else. No, I will be in that party, enjoy that party, network in that party. So wherever you are, because that's the only way you can take advantage of anything that is within that space. But if you're here, you're thinking about somewhere, you're having some other thoughts, you are not going to be here, and you also not achieve what is also the other side. So wherever you are, you must be so alert and present. Like when I'm going in if I'm going in for a very serious meeting, or if I'm going to do a presentation for a brief, the night before I try to sleep well so that in the morning I'm quite fresh. Now, I don't have any of that discussion with anybody apart from that thing that I'm going to do. If you bring anything for me at that point, I don't listen to it, because there's just this power of focus. I just want to have only the thought of what I'm going in for in my head, because that's the only way I can be present. That's the only way I can be articulate. That's the only way I can be alert to whatever that's happening to me. That's the way I function. I don't know. We all have our different ways of functioning, but for me, that's the only way I can be present and then pick the cues and the things around them. But if I'm not that focused, I'm not that present, you may not even know that something else is happening there. Meanwhile, you're in a world of your own. So for me, all the things we have mentioned, they are all part of what, but I can actually subsume them into all these boxes. But this helps you to, kind of pretty much remember and have a sense of, okay, always ask yourself, what's the belief system I'm using to engage at this point? What is it about me that is either playing to my strength or my weakness? Do I have the knowledge, skills, and the attitude that I'm bringing to this thing that I'm working on? Am I present in mind and body, everything? Remember when we wanted to do the assessment, I said, relax, sit down. That's the only way the best of yourself can come in. I hope I explained it. So pretty much, let's discuss the qualities we've mentioned. Most of them we've already mentioned here. The vision, you must know where you're going. If not, you can't get anywhere. Of course, we've spoken about self-discipline. There's something that is so critical about self-discipline. It's about delayed gratification. When I talk about this, I usually use myself as an example. I remember my first job. When I came in, the first job was not putting money in my. I couldn't use the money was not anything significant, but I was working as if I was working in Shell. I would dress up, get work. The attitude I brought into you think that I'm some CEO, but I loved what I was doing. And it didn't matter about the financial at the point. But because I knew that whatever knowledge I was going to get from here was going to give me that big thing I was looking for. So I was willing, I was able to. Now, it didn't come easy because I really had people I always would speak to. And they said to me, never mind what happens today, that I should look at it from a different perspective. And I think that was one of the best advice I actually got, because that was the genesis of everything that, that began to happen for me at the subsequent. So some people who sometimes may be fixated on the financial is good, yes, but always ask yourself, this thing I'm going to be doing, would it earn me that thing tomorrow? Because I can earn the big money today and not learn anything new. That is why I always advocate when you're starting a career, ask yourself, what is the work I'm actually going to be doing? Is it something that would enhance me, that I'm getting better each day? Or am I just carrying file and carrying a big name without any portfolio per se? So always ask yourself, what is the work you're doing? You must be getting your hands dirty. If not, that's not a good first step, unless you have another plan. So always start with, I must learn, I must get it right, I must understand what I'm doing. If not, you would waste the time, and the time you need it most, time is your greatest asset. So that's why I always advocate for people, start small, start in those small organizations that you would be Lord and Master. You get your hands dirty, you'll do it, because you can be in a big organization for 10 years and learn absolutely nothing. You will earn the salary, but guess what? After that, what next? You won't be able to do any other thing subsequently. So always ask yourself, what is it that I'm learning? And that the only way you can do that is be able to have some form of delayed gratification and actually be a lot more you take in your career. We've mentioned honesty, we've mentioned communication, learning mindset. You must be always willing to ask questions, to challenge that status quo. Now, when I say challenge, that doesn't mean you're going to challenge your boss. It's to ask, what can we do this thing differently? Is there any other way we can do it that will still give us the right values, the right outcome? Can we do it in a way that the costs will be reduced? Is there something else we can do differently? Those are the learning mindsets, because whatever you learn sticks with you. And then, of course, the result orientation. People are very fixated on activity, you're working, no. What are you producing eventually? If you cannot say this is what we're producing eventually, then you need to have a rethink of what it is that you're doing. Of course, kindness, legacy building. So when I speak about legacy building, what I always tell people is, what is that thing that you're doing that if you're gone, somebody will speak about it? Or are you doing something that is only you that is consuming it, or your family is consuming it? Are you bringing some form of value to the next person, even if you don't know that person? There must be something that you're doing that is greater than who you are in anything that you're doing. Like I mentioned, someone who talked about philanthropy. That's beautiful, because you'll be in the process, you'll be raising a generation who will take after you. So we must always have those noble goals that are beyond who we are, because life is beyond our pleasures, the things we want to do, or the things we love. We must be creating value for the next generation. We're enjoying these things, we're enjoying the iPads because somebody stepped out and chose to do something that each of us would gain. So let's not only be consumers. Then the spirituality. So spirituality here isn't about going to church. But we must understand that there's something about us. We're not the regular animals. We have a soul. So when I speak about spirituality, I try to use this example that whatever you're doing, whatever job or task you're doing, you must give it a soul. You must give it an identity that is bigger than you. It must be something that the value creation speaks to something out of who you are. I'm trying not to make it very religious. It has to be something that connects to something more supernatural or something higher than who we are. Some people will call it God, some will call it universe, whatever you call it. Some people will call it Allah, whatever it is that you call it. But you must walk to that. When I was when I was much younger, my dad would tell us to walk is to pray. Now, I didn't quite understand it growing up, but it was much later I understood that even in my work, I must see it as my service, as my call to serve my creator. That is why I would engage in actions, produce products that my creator or whoever it is that I hold as true, as universal, as omnipotent, as omniscient would be proud of. I wouldn't engage in actions or produce things or engage in work that will not enhance or will not bring glory to who I have taken to belong to. That's the best way I can explain it. So integrity, of course, we've mentioned integrity. Know yourself, we've spoken about that. Study, I'm going to speak to that much later. So that's pretty much what it is. Okay, sorry, my system is not working. So gritty, now we've talked about resilience. You're going to fail. That's the way I call it. You're going to fail. Each of us, everybody has failed in one form or the other. You're going to fail. Now, what you do with that failure is what makes the difference. So I tell people, for you to have that, you must have that staying power, the ability to rise above your adversity of any situation that you're faced in. It's going to be tough. That is why you must have a support system. You must have people who can help you get off whatever it is life has thrown at you. Because life is going to throw at you a whole lot. You can qualify as a lawyer, do everything, and last minute something happens. And then you have to start again. Some people are not able to handle it. I have a cousin who just read medicine, and you know how it is, their second MB comes out, and this classmate of hers didn't make it in the second MB. And the boy committed suicide. And I said to myself, how much attachment did he give? So those things are there. We have those attachments. So that thing must have represented everything about him. And so when he didn't pass, he just went somewhere. I can't remember what it was that he eventually did. And they all knew him. So it was quite a story, but my takeaway from it was that's that thing of when you feel you have this is the only thing, this is the only box of your life there is. Well, we can't judge anybody, but we must be able to have that resilience. Now, some of us have it naturally, some of us have to kind of learn it. One of the strongest ways of getting towards it is the perspective you have about life. When you understand this is not the end of it. This is just one part of my life that has gone wrong. Every other part is working. What do I need to do next? That mindset is so critical. Then personal evaluation. As a person, you must consistently be reviewing who you are. Now, certain stretch goals, I personally have my personal KPIs. So every beginning of every month, I itemize everything, even to my exercise, my recreation, my social life, all those things, I set them as goals. And once I do one, I go key it in. So at the end of the month, I evaluate and see, it's just a normal Excel sheet, and it gives me my total. So I remember there was a month I scored 37% over 100. I really felt bad. I went back to look and say, where did I go wrong? And I realized that most of the things I went wrong, I didn't do well, were things that other people had control over. So by the next month, I just summoned everybody. I said, you made me score low in my KPI, because I have an accountability partner who reviews my KPI with me every month. So she always will tell me, and it's that objective, it's no joke, because I tell her that's the only way I can keep getting better in everything that I do. So you must be willing to make yourself vulnerable, stretch yourself, and be willing to have yourself evaluated in very, sometimes unfunny ways. Emotionally strong and mental alertness. We've spoken about the one I talked about, presence. Then health and fitness. Now, there's something someone said to me that, do I know that most CEOs are not overweight? And I said, I was started evaluating most of the CEOs. The person said to me that they all have some lifestyle that keeps them in check. You see that they don't drink as much alcohol. I said, but I knew a few that were not. But they said, if you look at it, there was some research study that was done. And they found that, I think there was CEO of Target. He had this, very streamlined routine that was so health conscious. The way he eats, the activity level he brings into his work, all of it, because you need that physical health to function. If you can't function if you're not healthy, or you're not fit, or you're not alert. Then people inclusion, someone mentioned it here, having to bring people together, to create value and help them in the things they do. That person, people inclusion is so critical as a personal. Those are strong qualities of personal leadership. And of course, we mentioned the traits, intelligence, people skills, decisiveness, creativity, competence, and trustworthy. These are additional parts of it. Strong. Now we're going to put the I hope we're not almost there. Oh my goodness, we're running behind. Do I still have time? So I'm going to share my screen.
You only have 2 minutes left. If you want extra time, just let me private chat me how many minutes you want. So I know.
Can I have like 15 minutes? It's an activity they need to do, and after that, we're just fine.
Okay. Let's go with 15 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. So, so did we get a sense of what I discussed? Did we get a sense of it? Please, if you do, can I see you in the chat? Can you explain if there's anything that you need to explain? Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't see this. So I'm just going to share. So now we've spoken about everything. We have a sense of who we are, where we're going, what it is about us. Now, there's something I always say, we're not going to put the beam light or the spotlight on you, which is now for you to do your SWOT analysis. Now, because this is what will form the basis of the decisions you're going to take, or the plan you're going to give to yourself subsequently. Because if you're not making plans, then you're not yet ready to get to your vision or your mission. You must be setting real goals based on where you are, but you can only start by understanding what it is that is. So it's a SWOT. We all know the quadrants, the SWOT analysis. So you need to produce a true and measurable SWOT analysis of where you are at as of today. This information is helpful when you need to make plans for your next line of actions. Sometimes friends and family can help you with this, particularly for your blind spot. Those are areas you really don't know about yourself. Remember when I mentioned that I realized that I was quite performance driven and I needed to work with people that were almost like me. So it took me a lot of going through to understand how can I try to mitigate it so that I don't keep causing trouble for myself along the way. So remember what we said today, self-be true. So if you use this, grab a sheet of paper and just do something like this. Now, we're not going to share this. It's your personal consumption. So the next question you'll be asking yourself is, what am I good at? Can you articulate your strengths, your weaknesses, your threats, and your opportunities? Now, when I mention this, I always use this example. Remember the Troy story or the Achilles heel that the analogy we usually use. So the story, the Greek history has it that when Achilles was born, it was foretold that he would die young, you know. And so because of that, the mother, of course, we women were always very crafty. The mother chose to kind of act against that. And what did she do? She took her son to this mystic river to kind of fortify him and make him invulnerable, probably make him strong. So what did she do? She took the son, you know, held the tip of his, held him at the tip of his leg and dipped him into the river, the mystic river, to fortify him. So the history has it that, you know, she held the baby with her thumb and her forefinger and dipped him. So the parts that she held didn't touch the water. And so what happened? He grew up strong guy. He was always, he fought most wars. He was such a, you know, a personality to be reckoned with. But we also heard that he was shot with poisonous arrow that hit him on the heel, on his ankle, that part that the mom held that did not dip into the water, and that was what killed Achilles. So that's where that Achilles expression came about, to say those are your weakest link or your weak areas. So that was his weakest point, because all the other areas had been fortified, but that part of him hadn't been fortified, and that was what actually brought him to his death. So your weak points are those things that pretty much that are about you that stand in the way. So you must be able to articulate this for yourself. Do the SWOT analysis. Ask yourself your strength, your weaknesses, the opportunities you have, and the threats. Because when you play to your strength and leverage on the opportunities you have, it is always good. But then we must pay attention to this, because these things are possible to stand in the way. They can sabotage everything that we have all worked for. Remember what I said, that it's not about making those easy decisions. It's usually when we are called to make that decision between what is right and the benefits we're going to receive if we go a different way, or what is right or how we feel, or what is right and what is wrong, or that thing about, okay, I'm at the position I can take advantage of anything. Now, would you be able to do that? Would you be willing to do that? That is so critical. So when you get back, do this, because this is the basis from which you're going to set every stretch goal that you have for yourself. I hope that is clear. So I'll get back. So this is about, because this is what I say, your next step always boils down to this question. So what? Now that I've learned or I've come to understand certain things, so what? And then now what? And it's always about, what do I need to continue doing? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to start doing? Remember, if we use the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, depends on where you're operating in life. If you're still here, well, you can do stuff, physical, food, shelter, clothing. You really don't need to do so much if you're here. It's when you need to go higher. a lot of demand will be placed on who you are. That's why it's so easy to fail. You don't need to do much to not if you have to fail. You don't need to do much if you want to come out with a pass or a third class. You don't need to do if you need to come late to work. You don't need to it's normal. Now, where the work is when you need to do the needful or step out of your comfort zone or get to do those things that would require you to stretch yourself. That is where you would need to ask yourself those questions, because things wouldn't happen by themselves. You have to make them happen yourself. And that is by the actions you take, the thoughts that you have, the kind of friends you keep, the accountability partner that you have that can help you get to the next level, the mentor that you engage, that coaching or the extra learning that you keep looking for, the additional certification that you have, and anything at all. So on this note, anybody have a question? Okay. So that's it. I don't know I hope I was able to communicate to everybody. That's my view about personal leadership. It's about you. Does anybody have a question? If we don't have, I can now close my presentation. So I did only 7 minutes extra. So that's fair enough. So in the absence of any question, because it's really not about questions, really about what do I do next? And those are my thoughts.
We'll be taking questions in the next 5 minutes. If you have questions, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Agenda. Okay. So when there are no questions, it means it's straightforward, really. Okay. Can I ask one or two? Can I ask?
There's something in the chat box.
He said, what part of, that's all I see. Ramat Badiru, can you ask the question? Is it okay to ask about you? Oh yeah, sure. So long as you're not asking me what question I cannot answer. But I'm willing to be vulnerable. Sure, Ramat, you can ask your question.
Okay, I would like to ask, was there any part of you that you really had to work on, apart from the performance-driven part where it almost had negative impact, but what part of you have you really had that you had to really work on, and how did you solve that? How did you relate with it?
Okay. So the truth is, personally, I've always operated in my comfort zone. So I've always believed that I've never wanted to, I've always done things that are safe, just be there, don't disrupt the status quo, just do the basic things. I was doing it, but I knew for others, it looked like, oh, she's doing well. But I knew the truth was that I was operating in my comfort zone. So I always tried to look for jobs that it was okay. I didn't have to, I just knew I was operating in my comfort zone. And so one of the things I told myself was, I said, but then I was wanting more. So one of the things I said, if you want more, then you need to come out of this comfort zone. I just knew that. I knew that I needed to come out of, and that comfort zone meant I needed to put myself to more studies. I needed to, engage in greater learning. And that was how I started my performance evaluation. So every month I try to put in that I need to read a book, I need to attend one program, I need to do one thing. So for instance, when we went on lockdown, the first 2 weeks, I was always on Netflix, I was sleeping, I was eating, it was a holiday for me. I was like, no, that the world is at standstill. You know, that's how I looked at it. I was like, oh, the world is at standstill. Nothing is going on in the world. We're all in one place. So it took me speaking with my coach one night. So we're speaking and he said to me, so where are you on this? Where are you? I didn't have an answer. That's what, so he asked me, so do you think you're on holiday? I said, well, I use it to rest. He said, no, you can't be resting. But this is the time for you to do that work. That thing you've been saying you don't have time for, this is the time. For almost 45 minutes, I was arguing because I didn't want to accept the truth. I was arguing and arguing. I was trying to defend myself. I was trying to do that. I worked so hard for the year. Each time he would tell me, Amuche, I agree with you. Amuche, I agree with you. However, this is it. He now started mentioning the projects I had planned out for and that I hadn't done. By the time I saw it, it was more than the things I had even done. That's when I knew that. In fact, at that point, I said, okay, I said, what I now trust, because we're human beings, and I said, but I don't like the way you've spoken to me. He said, oh, I'm sorry, but this is it. But I needed to tell you the truth. So those are, each of us, everybody faces that. But the thing is, if you're willing to be vulnerable, and if you're willing to tell yourself the truth, and not be defensive or not make excuses for yourself, because excuses are there. I made those excuses for myself. I said the world was on lockdown, there was nothing happening, this, that. I was at my own time. I said I needed to relax, I needed to be with the children. You know, I had 1,000,001 excuses that were okay. But when I told myself the truth and the goals I had set out for the year, and I knew that I was nowhere any of them, that was when I got up. So for instance, I had my system in my bedroom, carried everything, the home office, tried to start, and that was one of the best decisions I took, because there were some goals I had set for since 2017. I only accomplished them this year, when there was a lockdown, when there was nothing happening. So that's how the one I can remember right now.
Thank you. That was really powerful. I really enjoyed your lecture.
Thank you.
I resonate so much with it, and this is one of the most engaging lectures that I've had ever since we started this program. And I really want to thank you so much. And I hope you will not mind if we reach out to you, because I would like to actually have a one-on-one with you too.
That's fine. As long as your performance driven. Okay. Yeah, any more? I see you, Collins. That's fine. I see your chats, Collins. So if there's more, I don't know if you have any more questions, or I can always share my thoughts on anything that, because we're all here to learn. I'm also learning as well. If there's anything.
Hello, Ma. If it's possible to share your social media handles where they can reach out to you, possibly, if it's convenient, you can share it in the chat box so they can see it. If it's convenient, if it's something they can do.
So I think my LinkedIn is, just check Amuche Chidozie. I don't know how Chidozie. You'll find me. I think that's it. That's the name. You will find, but it will be easy to find LinkedIn or Helena Free. Yeah, that's it. I think that's what it is.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. In the absence of no question, I know I've been bugging you throughout this week, reminding you about this session, calling and things like that. I know, thank you very much. In fact, the good thing about the personal leadership session is just not applicable to a target audience, let's say fresh graduate and not something that you can do yourself and take personal analysis and evaluation of your own personal self. So some of these sessions are like that. Even for me, that is here just to supervise some of the sessions, it gives you ability to critically analyze and evaluate yourself. And thank you for taking it the way we would have loved it to be. It was practical, and you were able to carry the audience along from the beginning to the end. It was more like a discussion, and courses like this are not meant to be taught with slides and just talking from the slides. It was more of a conversation whereby it helps them retrospect, deep down, look at what you are doing wrong, look at what you can better improve and things like that. And these are the things you were able to achieve during this lecture, and it was fantastic. It was really, really fantastic. Thank you very much once again. Although it was never in doubt if you would be able to deliver, because I've witnessed you once last so it was expected. But the thing keeps getting better. And thank you very much for your session. Thank you. So I think one or two people should thank her and tell her what you feel about the session, although we still be sending her the participant feedback. But just thank her for the session and tell her what you feel about. So two people should just come up, unmute your mic, come up and tell her what you feel about the session.
I would also want to know what else that you would have wanted to know.
Okay.
Not just the positive, the negative as well.
Okay. Okay. So two people. Should I call names or you guys will go yourself? I think it's better you go yourself instead of imposing. Cynthia, you want to say something?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
I really appreciate you for the lecture. It's really gave me a wide insight about myself more, and I hope I would try my best to put it into practice, because it will help me a lot. I really want to appreciate you. It was really a mind-blowing lecture, and I'm grateful.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Any other person? One more person?
Good afternoon.
Do we have anybody? Okay.
Yes, sir. I really want to say thank you for this great insight. Thank you for the teaching, because it's not just a lecture, it's a teaching. And sincerely speaking, I look forward to you mentoring me. Sincerely, it's an awesome one. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being participating. We are quite interested. You were quite engaging, so that made it probably more fun. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, man. Let's leave it to your busy day. We'll just take over from here. Thank you very much. Then I will chat you for updates concerning we giving you your feedback and some other things I would like to update you on. So I will chat you privately.
Okay, that works. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, and all the best, and good luck to all your endeavors.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Everyone.
Hello, sir.
Afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Hope you had a wonderful session with Mrs. Amoche Chidozie. For me, I think she did well, and it was really an engaging session. So we have come to the end of today's session. We only had the schedule today for only one session, which is the personal leadership session we just had, and it was really, really worth it from my own end. So majorly tomorrow we'll be having, we are supposed to be having the working remotely and the use of basic technological tools. But that session, there's a probability that it will be postponed till next week. We are not sure yet, but we'll give you the communication before the end of today. So there's a probability that it won't hold tomorrow. it will hold sometime next week. So I think if it doesn't hold tomorrow, that gives you guys more time to work on some of your projects. So if it doesn't hold tomorrow, it gives you more time to work on some of the project that has been assigned to you. But I'll give you that feedback before the end of today, like we always do. I'll give you that feedback before the end of today. So this has been wonderful. This has been nice. This is the second week or third week. This is the third week, right? This is
the third week, sir. Third week.
This is the third week of the GAP Network program. And let me get your views. What has been your view so far? Well, what has it been for you? Has it been up to expectation? Is it beyond expectation, or has it been below expectation? What were you expecting when you started GAP? Let me hear from you guys. Unmute if you want to speak. Nafisat can speak.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Nafisat.
Yes, sir. Honestly speaking, the program has been really, really helpful. In fact, it started with the mind orientation. The mind orientation itself is like, how would I put it? It's reorientate my own, I'm talking for myself, it's reorientate my own opinion about things, the way I look at, the way I see things, right from after graduation, and the way I expect things to be, and not believing in myself in some aspects and not doing things right. So this training has been able to help me deal with that, and my own shortcomings too, which I'm realizing I've been able to work on it. I'm still working on it though, but this training has been very, very helpful. And I would like to say a very big thank you to KEC for this golden opportunity. It's really, it's been excellent. Let me just say, thank you very much.
Thank you. Who else wants to speak? What has been your experience so far? Tell us about your experience, the GAP Network experience. Has it met your expectation? Has it been below expectation? Or it has just been there? What new things have you learned? What courses were special to you during this session? I want to hear from you guys. I want to really hear from you guys. Who wants to speak?
Hello, sir.
Okay, Emmanuel.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, sir. And good afternoon,
good afternoon,
everyone. Well, I would say the sessions have been great. It has met my expectation in so many ways. Beginning from the mind orientation section, down to the CV and the cover letter. Well, of particular interest to me was the session today. It was mind blowing, sir. I will say that it was very inspiring. She really spoke to our hearts. Most of us, she brought out that personal trait, that leadership trait in us, which while ago might be dormant, or we did not realize that, but she was able to speak to our mind, and we realized some traits, some attributes, and some values which we had within us. So I will say it has been great, and I want to thank KEC and the sponsors. It has been great so far, sir, and I expect that it should be like this till the end of the program, sir. Once again, thank you, and thank you, everyone.
Okay. Good. Any other person? I would also like to ask, what we try to do with the training is to be able to mix. Okay, Ramat, you will speak after this. Is to be able to mix the soft skill training and a little bit of psychological training into it, because you will see that some courses like the mind orientation, like this personal leadership, were speaking more. So what we did was the psychological training, the soft skill training, and the digital skills training were merged. You will see it in some of the courses, you understand, to be able to psych you up, because it's not alone getting the skills. Self-sabotage is a thing whereby you have the skills, but you still feel you are not adequate enough, you are not good enough to do some of these things, you understand? So you need to be a little bit psych. So What do you think about the composition of some of your courses that you've had so far? Has it done it for you? Do you think that some of the learnings from these courses, you will be able to apply them? Badru Traman, Badru, and speak, please.
Okay, I would like to say that from the last thing you said, all the courses are absolutely relevant. They are very, very relevant, especially
We can hardly hear you. It seems your network is bad.
when after the orientation, I never believed that mind oriented straight into job hunting and writing CV. That mind orientation changed me to be honest. Always can't hear me. How about now?
It's better. It's better now.
Can you hear me now?
It's better.
Okay. So I said it's been really good, and I really want to thank KEC and sponsors, and especially to you, Mr. Dapo. You've really been helpful. I mean, you're always the one doing all of the processes and all. I'm really grateful. We're all really grateful. And today's class especially was really mind-blowing. I don't usually, especially my SWOT analysis, I don't take all those kind of things serious right from time. I never take that. I've seen it somewhere else, but these trainings we have make me actually sit down and actually think, and they've made me move forward. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there, alhamdulillah. So I really want to thank you all because I know sourcing for the lecturers alone service work. So I really want to thank you. You are really doing a great job.
Okay. Thank you very
nice
much.
to be here.
Thank you. Chidera, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something. Good afternoon, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, this program has been very helpful, and I know I'm gonna apply all that I've learned so far in my real life. Then I also want to say I love the part where you guys bring us very close to great people, consultants, and the rest. Like I have so many HRs now on my LinkedIn profile, on my LinkedIn connection, and they've really been helpful. Some of them have promised to review my CV for free, and I know I would have paid a lot of money just to get them reviewed. So I think it has really been very, very great, and I appreciate that. And I've also been able to work on my LinkedIn profile, because then I had no friends before I started this program, but now I'm building my connection on LinkedIn. So I think this program has been very great, has been very, very helpful. Thank you very much, KEC, for this great opportunity. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Ifedayo, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I'll say the program has been of great benefit to me. All sessions have been engaging, but most especially for me, I love the job hunting strategy. The session talking about the career plan. Not like me, I know we don't have career counselors now and mentors, but I was able to connect with Mr. Sheye Olugotimi. Funny enough, he has been like my counselor since then. He has been sending me job alerts. He got my CV. Like I was able to network even beyond the class activities. The program has been wonderful. It's been wonderful. In fact, beyond my expectations, and I believe I'll be getting more from it. So thank you so much, KEC. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. One last question is that, when we were doing the orientation program, when you guys were coming in, one of the responsibilities of KEC was to bring in expert facilitators. From what you've seen so far, have we been able to live up to that expectation? Like the people that have taught you so far, the caliber of people, when you check them out, do you think it has been up to what we promised? Who wants to answer that? Okay, okay, Nima, go first. After Nima, then we do Abib Issa. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. My own expectation, it was beyond expectation. I never expected it. And I'm really grateful for this great opportunity. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, Abibisa, let's have you.
Thank you very much to Casey, first and foremost, because the caliber of the facilitators we have had, in fact, they've even done beyond what we expected. But it's not every day we have the opportunity to see people from all walks of life, people from different fields, being able to dish out what they have gotten over time, their experience and their knowledge. So I would say, from what I've seen over the past few weeks, this is third week, the caliber of people that you guys have brought on to discuss with us, in fact, they've even exceeded our expectation. Thank you very much to Casey.
Okay, good. Then the last one, what is the improvement that you think going forward KEC needs to implement? At least you've experienced the training for first week, second week, third week. You should have had some little observation. Had it been KEC did it like this, it would have been better. Had it been Mr. Ajibade said it like this, it would have been better. What are some of those things? Because we take feedback very, we feel feedback it's necessary. We don't want to stay at this point. We want things to get better. So feedback is one of those things that does that for us. So what do you think that KEC going forward should do better in some of these programs? What do you think? Anyone wants to go with that? Anyone? Are this and still up? The Ramat, the Chidera, are you guys still up for this or?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Ramat, you can go.
Okay, to be honest, to be very honest, I don't know how you take this, but I actually think I need to, or maybe it's just how I feel, but I need to say it. When I checked Gap on like website, because somebody sent the application to me, so I checked it out. So I saw that, okay, we were to, okay, after the 1 month training, there is internship. I must say that the context at which that internship was given was like, it was very sure. I mean, it made it seem like there was no bargaining. It was sure. So I don't know, but I just felt like when last week I felt like, okay, I thought this thing was really sure, and I didn't know that we had to start the process of sending you sending us applications to actually do, because I thought it was something that you were in affiliations with some particular companies or some enterprises. That was my own mind, and it just kind of gave me like confusion, like what's really happening? Is it that we have to do, like, I thought that was what I was avoiding, that okay, maybe this is more stable and this is more organized than me just sending out my CV to any other, like any company that comes my way. So that's how I felt about the whole sending us how would I explain it? Sending us positions, yes, to actually apply for. Yes, that's it.
Okay, so let me just answer to that. There's nothing free in Freetown. Nobody wants to give you everything for free. So let me just start with that first. And let me put my video on for that. This is a good one. Nobody wants to give you everything for free. There are some things that you have to work for. Part of the program, the way the program is structured is that you do your employability training and you go for internship. And we will provide the internship opportunities for you. But if you were listening during the orientation, we also told you that you can also provide the internship opportunities yourself. But also, how do you apply the job hunting strategies if we don't make you use what you've been taught? That is one. We have people that we call employee partners that actually absorb some of our graduate members, people like you, which you still do, which you will still be sent for internship to, that absorb our employee partners. But at the same time, we don't want to give you that feeling that like anything is sure. you have to work for some of these things yourself. For example, we've taught you job hunting strategy, we've taught you CV writing, we've taught you cover letter. How do you know? How do you know that? How do we know that you understand these things? You can apply these things. The only way we can know is by you applying these things. And this is why we send you some of these job openings. Some of them we have affiliation with. Some of you will have chatted you at the back end and actually referred you to some job opportunities. You can speak to some of your colleagues. I will have chatted you, okay, send me some of these things, and I will have spoken with the recruiter. But even we having access to this recruiter, how do we know? We've taught you interview skills. How do we know that you are good with the interview? Nobody just wants to take you just because you've gone to GAP. It is the applicability of the knowledge that you've had from GAP that matters, not what we've taught you. So I think it's an entitlement mentality that you think that everything should be given for free. You don't want to work for some of these things. I feel it's a little bit of an entitlement. In fact, if you are being realistic, programs like this shouldn't be free. You understand? If you are being realistic, programs like this shouldn't be free. But it is free because we have sponsors, and we're a CSR initiative of Excel African Group that make things like this possible. It's their way of giving back to the society, and this is the way of saying thank you for what the society have given to them, and this is why we are actually doing this. So I think it's a no-brainer that we make you work for some of these things. You've done CV writing, you've done cover letter, you've done interview skills. Apply it to some of these positions, because even the positions that we keep advertising to
I'm very sorry.
Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
I think she said she's very sorry.
No, I'm not angry. It's not, she asked a question and I'm addressing the question, but hello?
I am
Hello?
say that this, I'm not saying your approach is bad. I'm saying that it is the context over that. I'm saying that I'm saying the context I wish just put out is what I'm telling you.
I understand you perfectly, Ramat, and I'm not faulting what you said. In fact, what you said is not out of place. There are major concerns that you might have had, and it's not out of place that you are stating your concern. So it's not out of place that you are stating some of your concerns. So why stating some of your concerns? I'm trying to address this thing. You are still going for internship. You will still be assigned to employee partners, to the different companies. And that's why what we do is, aside the present employee partners we have, at every point in time, we keep adding to these different employee partners so that we have a pool to choose from whenever you are going for internship. And this will still happen after your training. But what is it not even okay? Is it not even better? Even before we give you people to go and work with our employee partners, you've gotten an internship yourself, or you tell us that you are going for an interview for an internship position, and we prep you and you go for. That shows more that what we've been teaching you, you've been able to apply. You understand? That gives us more confidence, like, okay, this is good. Okay, they are actually working to achieve some of these things that we stated during the training themselves. You understand? Not just handing out, it's better to teach someone how to fish than just giving people fish. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Thank you.
Any question, any other way we should have done it better? I think Okay, 2 people. Oyedamola.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
Can you hear me, sir?
Perfectly.
Okay. Something I actually noticed in the course of me getting the program and everything, I had to go online to search for some things, and I don't know if I'm actually right, but the online presence and everything seems very, very low. Okay, I think I later got some information through Nairaland, which was like 2015, like 5 years ago. So from that, I feel most of us don't really do the follow up and everything, liking the page. Those that have gotten this opportunity before don't even make others aware of it. Like I think I should also add that, because me checking online, me checking Facebook, I haven't seen most people comments, most people like pages and everything. I may be guilty of that, but I have tried as much as possible to also like some pages and even like some comments, at least to make it more visible that KC is existing for others that want to know about it. Even my connection on my WhatsApp, I try as much as possible to tell some of my friends that are interested, and maybe they said, okay, the next batch, I should make them know and all that. I think the online presence, something.
Yeah. Oyedamola, what you observe is very, very right, and we are looking at various ways and strategic ways to fix that, because we do so much, and you can people can only get to know you when you tell your story, when you tell your impact story, and I don't think that we've done that a lot. We are improving on a daily basis. And we'll keep improving. We'll keep doing that. We want you to be able to go online, and when you search cases, some of our impact, some of our stories comes up there. It gives credibility and it validates the program. So, for example, when you were making decisions to come into this program, I know you had some doubt. You understand, you had some doubt. What is it all about? And if you had had enough information online, that would have been an easy decision for you to make. So we'll work on that, and you guys can actually help out. You understand? Like, for example, I like the initiative by Femi that was talking about Ready for Class, whereby you share a picture of your desktop or your phone, whereby you are ready to. So these are some of the things that goes online. So, for example, the next batch that are coming online, probably if they search with some hashtag and things like that, okay, they'll be able to get some of these things. And okay, this is how it went. And the good thing about the YouTube channel is we didn't have it before. Now we can have it, and these are some of the things that we reflect whenever you are searching online. You can get a YouTube link and see what we've done in the past and things like that. So we'll keep improving, and you guys can help us more. Follow us on social media. Since we started, we instructed that most of you should follow us on different social media pages. And I don't think you guys have done that much. If we have done that much, we are supposed to have seen a high increase in some of our followership, and we've not seen that in the past 3 weeks. So I encourage you guys to follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on IG, and leave comments, what you actually feel, your genuine comments about the program. This will help to boost our visibility. Okay, so I think, okay, Chidera, you still want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something. So, please, I want to know if and when we'll get the feedback for our cover letter and CV, because, getting a feedback will help us work on our flaws and then know where we are getting it all wrong on our cover letter so we can work on it. So I want to know if and when we can get it.
Yes, you are supposed to get feedback on your cover letter soon. I'm the one that is supposed to actually work on the CV and the cover letters, but I've been a little bit into so many things, but that's not an excuse. So let's see what we have by weekend. You get your feedback on your CVs and cover letters. So I'm sorry that is coming late. I'm very, very sorry that is coming late.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Taiwo Olufemi, you want to say something?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, so I was going to say the same thing she said about the feedback on cover letter, and also feedback on the personal assessments that we have done. I was expecting that by now, I mean, although
which personal assessment is that with Mr. Gogo?
Yes.
Okay. But he has given you the feedback on your job hunting strategy, has he?
feedback on job on. He just mentioned it. He just talked about some people who did well, but for the people who did not do well, I mean, I don't know if I did well or I didn't do well because I've not heard anything from him.
Okay.
Concerning that.
Okay. So some of these assignments you need feedback on. Yeah.
Yes, and secondly, yeah, I first off, I want to like commend the work Casey is doing. I mean, it has surpassed my expectations basically because I personally have been very intentional about developing myself, and I've been part of different organizations. So coming here, I was like, oh, probably they'll tell me what I already know, but coming here, I'm seeing something very, very different. So I would like to suggest, right? I mean, these contents are very, very good. Is it possible to externalize them so that even if you are not part of the GAP network, you can still access these things, like maybe on Skillshare, for instance, or on edX, where people can still go on, on their own time and access these learnings?
Okay. I don't know the platforms you mentioned. I don't really know how they work, right? But the reason why we don't have the YouTube running like this before, and the reason why we have the YouTube now is for people, especially for people that were not chosen, that got to a certain stage in the interview process or the online test that didn't get into the program, to be able to access some of this learning. As much as we want GAP to be a very good and structured platform, we don't want to exclude people that much. That's why we opened up our YouTube. Concerning the course materials and things like that, what we are trying to do at the end of the day is probably have like a resource center on our website. When we have the resource center on our website, you can always go to our website and check the resource center. You can have access to how do you conduct yourself during interview, how do you critical thinking, what are the materials you understand. So we are working on trying to compute the resource center, and this is probably one of the things that one of the group projects we'll be working on. The group project that is handling case we'll be working on is putting together the resource center, you understand, and so that we can have some of these things there. But I don't know, we are ready to explore so many options, as much as it doesn't affect the structure of the program or how organized the program will be. It will be unfair for you that you've gone through this much stress in getting into the program, getting the same thing, exactly the same thing with people that didn't go through that much stress in getting into the program, you understand? So probably they can have access to the employability. I think where we could draw the line is probably the internship opportunities whereby you guys have access to and they don't have access to and things like that. But we are ready to explore options. We are ready to explore options.
Okay, sir. And on an unrelated note, sir, I like your haircut. I observe.
Okay, I don't know. I wouldn't
Good
answer
afternoon,
that.
sir.
I wouldn't answer that. Okay, Ahmed, let's go on.
Mohsin, that's the name.
Yeah, Mohsin. I keep calling it Mushin, and I don't want to do that. So.
No. We shouldn't misplace the H and the S. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So as regards what Femi said earlier about the jump on strategy, I think Mr. Agogo gave some personalized feedbacks. I got a feedback from him via my mail. So where he highlighted some of the things I did well and where I was supposed to make up with some things. So I don't know, maybe some of us might be missing on that feedback. Probably it entered through our spam folder or somewhere else. So we could go back to our mails to confirm that. I got it from the spam folder too. So
okay, just let us know if you didn't get the feedback. Just let us know if you didn't. Then I would liaise with Mr. Agogo if he has sent it, or if we are to send it again. Then we know. You understand? So if you didn't get it in your mail, just probably notify us. Then we'll send it to you again. Right. So any other person? Any other observation? Am I missing anybody's hand? Am I missing any other observation? I think that's all, right? I think that's all. Okay, thank you. And by now, everybody has gotten their internet, the data, right? I think I did the last batch yesterday, right?
Yes.
The people that had to,
Thank you,
okay,
sir.
the people that had to do their report again and this. Okay, good. Okay, thank you very much. Don't forget to fill your feedback form for this session, and we'll be sending the pre-assessment form. If we'll be having the class tomorrow or we are postponing it to next week, I will let you know. I will give you feedback on that. Right. Thank you very, very much for your time. Have a wonderful day.